Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Crystal version Nuzlocke. I'm Deacon082 and we're here in front of the Pokemon League reception gate. And this is a very important time in the series. Only trainers who have proven themselves may pass. Oh, the 8 badges of Johto! Please, go right on through. And here we are, to the east. Off to the Pokemon League, are you? The Elite Four are so strong it's scary, and they're ready for you. And to the west. This way leads to Mount Silver. You'll see scary strong Pokemon out there. But we can't go to either of these places, so the only place is north, to Victory Road. Victory Road has some new Pokemon, also have several items in here. But Victory Road in this game is short for the first time ever. The first thing we'll do is check out the new Pokemon. We have Rhyhorn, available 30% of the time in the morning and day. Rhyhorn is one you seriously want to think about. Because Rock type, as you'll see, is pretty powerful. Now there aren't a lot of great Rock type moves, but Rhyhorn's pretty interesting because it evolves into Rhydon. And Rhydon has very, very high HP, attack, and defense. It's kind of slow. Its other stats aren't so great. As we're just gonna weaken this thing a bit because I really want to catch this thing. The other Pokemon you can find here are your same old Gravelers, Onix, Golbat. You can also find Sandslash, and you can even find Rhydon, but they're pretty rare. You might as well just get a Rhyhorn and evolve it. Now, I'll get into my personal recommendations for the Elite Four a little later on in this episode. But first, we're going to catch this Rhyhorn. And we're using our Ultra Balls, even though we could probably catch it with something less because it's asleep and in yellow health. But I don't know the catch rate on this thing. We also have a Master Ball if we ever need it. I don't know if we'll ever need it, but I'll probably end up using my Master Ball sometime in this run, just on something I really want, but I'm not going to have patience to try to catch. Like maybe this Rhyhorn if it breaks free. Never mind, we have a Rhyhorn. And this Rhyhorn, it can only remember one thing at a time. Once it starts rushing, it forgets why it started. It's very dumb. I'll consider using this thing, but I'm going to call it Braaaaaad, just for the heck of it. Now for the rest of Victory Road, I'm going to use Repels and just guide you through this place because it doesn't take very long to get through. Over here on the right side, we have some items. Here is a second full heal, both of them in Victory Road. Up here we have a Matt's Revive, which we'll toss. So, yeah. We've picked up plenty of Matt's Revives so far, but we're just unable to use them. And we also have a hidden item over here. And it is... Okay, we don't have a hidden item over there. I'm thinking of a different game, apparently. I was thinking of Matt's Potion or something. Now we'll go up here, and you'll find the staircase. Around here, second floor of Victory Road. Around this corner, we have an HP up, which could come in handy. And up here further, we have the third floor. Now there's a few things on the third floor. This is a shortcut to another item up here, and this is a full restore, and we'll definitely want this, so I guess we'll use the HP up on Nick could use some HP, I don't know why. But here's the full restore, you'll definitely want this. Then you can cut back down here. Repel wears off right on the jump, if I could figure out how to get back to my item pocket. Where am I? There we go. And the final item, which is an absolute must to pick up. You go on the left, and you fall through this hole. And here you have one of the most important items in the game, TM26, which teaches Earthquake. And there's the Matt's Potion I was thinking of. So, that Earthquake TM, I'm not going to give it to anybody yet, but you'll definitely want to teach it. If not before the Elite Four, but later on. And, as we can see, the exit to Victory Road is just up ahead. But apparently, somewhere in Victory Road, we passed Sellar. Hold it! Are you going to take the Pokemon League challenge? Don't make me laugh. You're so much weaker than I am. I'm not like I was before. I now have the best and strongest Pokemon with me. I'm invincible. Deacon, I challenge you. So, if Sellar really thinks he has the best and strongest Pokemon, we'll just have to find out. He leads off with a Sneasel, same as last battle, but it's turned into his lead. It once again knows no ice moves, and Sneasel is 4 times weak to fighting. So we are going to use Submission. Submission is a powerful fighting type move. I believe it has 80 power, but it also has a recoil, so I'm kind of looking for a replacement, but there just aren't any. So we take that out. His next Pokemon will probably be Golbat. It will not evolve into a Crobat because his happiness just isn't up there. So we're going to have to switch out here because our defense is lowered and it knows Wing Attack. So we'll go into Derpina, who can take almost anything. But no, it decides to Confuse-Ray us. Oh well. Derpina's got a lot of special attack, so Confusion might be enough to take it out. I'm not worried about Bite, even though we're weak to it. And we're able to hit in Confusion with Confusion. Yo dog, I heard you like Confusion, so we almost took out your Golbat in one hit. He's got Bite again. The only thing I'm worried about Bite is if it criticals, or if we hurt ourselves in Confusion too many times, so yeah, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to go out to Emma to finish this Golbat off. I don't think it'll try to Confuse-Ray us. Leech Life, also super effective on Slowbro, but luckily doesn't do anything to Emma. And now we'll finish it off with Swift, because I feel ballsy. We should have picked something faster because Confuse-Ray, but oh well. This is the final Sellar battle of the main storyline. And I just don't like confusion, so we'll be switching out again after this. Sellar's next Pokemon will be Magneton, an electric steel type, and if you know anything from the previous battles with this thing, fire, ground, fighting, and you will win. Thunder Wave, Paralysis. We've seen that a few times before, but we'll take this thing out with Fire Punch, assuming we can hit. Probably not a good idea to use Poliwrath here, as Magneton is very powerful in special attack. So, this Magneton goes down. And that's 3 out of 6 done. Sellar actually has a full team in this battle. His next Pokemon is Haunter. He's going right in order. And Haunter should go down with a Fire Punch, but it's going to use Curse, so it now definitely will go down with a Fire Punch. But we're fully paralyzed, so we're going to take some damage. Probably a good idea to switch out right about now, and I'm going to go into Nick because we haven't seen him yet this battle. And here's Nick the Dragonair. Also, I didn't want to risk Elaine taking a Shadow Ball and a Curse. We can't use Extreme Speed, so we're stuck with Dragon Breath, but that should be plenty with Haunter's lack of defense. There we go. Haunter's a lot tougher in Generation 2, where it has special defense. Sellar's next Pokemon is Kadabra, which is weak defensively as well. We're going to go with Extreme Speed first turn and see if we can take it out. Yes! There we go. We don't have to worry about it attacking first either. And Sellar's final Pokemon is Typhlosion. And I'm going to start off with Thunder Wave. Here's Flame Wheel. We shouldn't have to worry about it as we resist Fire-type moves in addition to many other moves. Not very effective. It doesn't burn us either. And we're the ones getting back with Thunder Wave now. And now we're going to go with Dragon Breath because it's going to do more than Extreme Speed would in this case. I think still not a lot, but it's fully paralyzed. Also, Sellar, unlike Gym Leaders and Elite Four members, doesn't have any Hyper Potions, Full Restores, anything like that. I think we'll try an Extreme Speed just to see if it'll end up doing more, but it's probably going to be about... Actually, Dragon Rage from here is probably enough to kill. 40 damage. 40 damage. Come on. Ah! Not quite, but he's fully paralyzed, and we can finish him off with Extreme Speed. And for the final time, for quite a while. Sellar was defeated. I couldn't win. I gave it everything I had. What you possess and what I lack. I'm beginning to understand what that Dragon Master said to me. I haven't given up on becoming the greatest trainer. I'm going to find out why I can't win and become stronger. When I do, I will challenge you again, and I'll beat you down with all my power. You keep at it until then. So I hate to say it, but Sellar was actually kind of tough this time around. But anyway, here we are on the most pointless route in the game, Route 23, and this big building up ahead is Indigo Plateau, the ultimate goal for trainers. It's the headquarters of the Pokemon League. And once inside, we have a Pokemon Center, Mart in the same building, a PC, and around the corner we have the Pokemon League. Now before I get into stuff I recommend for the Pokemon League, first we're going to heal, and second, well, there are a couple Pokemon I haven't mentioned yet that you might want to think about for the Elite Four, and I just want to get their bios in just to be complete, so we'll head to the areas where they are. Now you can't fly to Johto from here, but if you talk to this old man, you can be teleported back to New Barktown, and you can do this anytime before you defeat the Elite Four. Now we're back in New Barktown. The first place we're going to fly to is Cianwood City. And why Cianwood City, you ask? Well, we're going on Route 41. First we're putting up a Super Repel. And apparently we already had a Repel up, so oh well, just wasting time already this episode. We're going to surf over to the Whirl Islands, which is this series of islands in the middle of Route 41, and we're going to go to the lower left island if I can find the entrance to this thing. Oh, now we need the... Actually, no, I'm just going to bear with it. And once again, we need Whirlpool if we want to get anywhere in here. But luckily, we don't need it after this point. There are many entrances to the Whirl Islands, and none of them are important for quite a while. But I'm taking the lower left entrance for now. Next thing you'll notice, you need Flash, and I am not going to teach it, because we can walk around in here. We can also open the menu and see little flashes of the surrounding area, but it's not really that helpful. I'm just going to walk around and wait for an encounter, because if you come to the islands in the morning and daytime, you have a chance of finding Seal. Seal we've talked about in the gym, and it's a defensive water type. It evolves into Dugong, which is pretty defensive as well. It also gains an ice type and learns some good moves. And I'm still wandering around in here randomly looking for a place to surf because there's water in this cave entrance. And there happens to be water right here. So we're going to surf up and down a little bit and see if I can encounter the other new Pokemon here. And yes, I did. This is Horsey. We can't catch it because we found Krabby already. Horsey is a pure water type, and if I were capturing this, I would think about using it. Like I mentioned before back in the Blackthorn Gym episode, we can't fully evolve it into Kingdra, but we can still get its second form, Seadra, which is pretty good Pokemon in terms of special attack, and I'd think about using it, but its moves really aren't all that great. Alright, the next place we're going to head to is down... Well, there's probably several routes we can do this, but I'm going to take Route 37. You can headbutt some of these trees and find new Pokemon. So I'm going to wait for an encounter. Sometimes these trees are just so stubborn, I had to go down to Route 36, hoping we could find something other than a Hoot. But oh well, there's a new Pokemon you can find by headbutting, and I'm honestly not sure on the routes because the headbutt encounters are pretty weird in this game. It's hard to find reliable and accurate data, but you can find a grass psychic type, Execute. And it's a grass type, it's a psychic type, it's not very good at all. It evolves with a Leaf Stone into Exeggutor, where it's got really good special attack and good other stats. it's not a bad Pokemon, really. I might actually recommend going for it, but Grass type's just hard to recommend, plus it's not really good against anything the Elite Four has. 2 new Pokemon by headbutting, both available on certain routes, but I think Route 42 is where you have to go to get one of them. We have 2 new Pokemon here. First one is Apom. It's a generic normal type that doesn't evolve, and its stats are pretty bad except for its speed. I don't recommend it at all. And our second Pokemon, which if I can somehow find in this, I am going to literally freak out because it is impossibly rare and apparently only in certain trees. We have Heracross, a bug fighting type, and it's an absolute oh my god! I've heard stories of it taking people 2 weeks to find one of these things. But oh my, too bad we can't catch it, plus it starts out already asleep. Heracross is a bug fighting type with some really good moves. And great stats as well. I recommend it for any team, personally. It gets a lot better in Generation 4, but oh my, just the fact I found a Heracross was just amazing. Maybe I should have tried it on this route, but then again, it wasn't first. And then there's one more place with 2 new Pokemon that we haven't mentioned, and unfortunately, we can't do what we need to do today. If you come to the National Park on a Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, you can take part in the bug catching contest, where you can catch a variety of bug Pokemon. But there are 2 new ones, each with a 5% chance of occurring, and those 2 new Pokemon are Scyther and Pinsir. Scyther is a bug flying type with good attack. They both have really good attack. I'm not really going to lump them together, but the bug type moves in this game aren't really that great, and Pinsir doesn't learn much else that's useful, so it's hard to recommend either one of them, but their stats are so good it's really hard not to mention them. So, that's about it for the new Pokemon, and that's about it for all the Pokemon we could have found up to this point in the game. Now, in order to fly back to the Pokemon League, you have to surf somewhere into Kanto, but we're back at the Pokemon League. And first things first, you have the Pokemart, and they sell many good items. Unfortunately, we can't buy any of them except Matt's Repels, which not the thing you'd expect to buy here, so I'm not gonna do it. There are several new moves we can talk about, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to go back to Johto to do one of these. I talked way back in episode 11 when we were in Goldenrod City about the game corner and there being some new moves. Well, Goldenrod City is a very important place for the Elite Four coming up, and I will get into that right here. Now, on our ranking purely of which type of moves do the best against the most Pokemon in the Elite Four, the top 5 in this, and the entire list will be displayed on the right side of the screen, you have number 1, Rock type, effective super effectively against 14 of the 26 Pokemon. Now, if you can't get a Rock type move, you have Ice type at 2nd, Psychic at 3rd, and Electric and Flying types tied for 4th. So, we don't really have a Rock type move right now unless we want to deal with like Rollout, but we will go here and buy TM14. 25, by the way, is Thunder if you want an Electric type attack, but we're getting TM14 for Blizzard, because the final member of the Elite Four uses Dragon types, and Blizzard, let's face it, much better than Icy Wind, and we actually have some Pokemon that can learn it now. We're definitely going to teach this to Derpina over Water Gun, which is pretty pointless at this point, seeing as Water type is only the 9th best type we can have, and we already have Surf for that. And one final thing, I'm not 100% sure on this, I'm thinking about getting Blizzard for Jeff as well, but I believe that, well, I know Ice Punch is a TM, and I know that Poliwrath can learn it in later games, but I'm not sure if he can learn it here, and this is not the right floor. So, I really hope that Ice Punch is going to be learnable. Here it is, TM33 for Ice Punch. Ice Punch, not as powerful as Blizzard, but it has 100% accuracy and we'll probably be using it a little more. So, Ice Punch, yes. Jeff can learn Ice Punch, Derpina can actually learn it, but I want Blizzard. So, Ice Punch, we're going to get rid of Whirlpool, but we're not doing it yet because I would have to go to the move deleter to do that. We're going to talk about a few other moves you'll want to have. For a Rock type move, I think Rock Slide is a TM, but I don't know where it is at the moment. So we're stuck with Rollout, which isn't a great move to be locked into, and plus only Emma can learn it. So we'll hold off on teaching it for now. Ground type is actually not as good as you'd think. It's only super effective against 4 Pokemon in the Elite Four, but still Earthquake is a great teach. Okay, so Psychic types. We don't have any Psychic type TMs, so that could come in handy. I mean, that could be difficult. Electric types, we could get Thunder Punch. Actually, I'm going to see, I highly doubt it, but I'm going to see if anyone can learn Thunder Punch, because it'd be pretty useful. Also, it's good to have a Ghost or Dark type if you don't have a Rock type, because it's useful against all 5 of the Pokemon that the first member of the Elite Four has. And we'll also buy a Fire Punch just for the heck of it. I'm going to try to teach these, so I forgot the TM numbers. I don't have a clue. They changed the TMs a lot from game to game. Thunder Punch, and if Slowbro can somehow learn this, Elaine can learn it. That's good enough. Thunder Punch, definitely going to come in handy, and we can finally get rid of Ember because we already have Fire Punch. Elaine learns Thunder Punch, and I honestly don't care if anyone can learn Fire Punch because we already have it. Yeah, okay. So we can't get a Rock type move. We can't get a great Psychic type move, but we've now covered Electric, Ice, and we already have Flying, so we are making good progress. So here's how the Elite Four is going to go down. There are 5 members, well, 4 members of the Elite Four, plus the champion. Next week, Monday, we'll be taking on the first member. Tuesday, we'll be taking on the second member. Wednesday, we'll be taking on the third member, and so on, up to the champion on Friday, assuming we can make it that far. I don't see myself having trouble with any of the first 4 members of the Elite Four, but the champion could be tough, and I'm going to be the first to say this, I am not going to guarantee myself winning. Also, I forgot to check on Earthquake to see if anyone can learn it. So, this will be very tough Elite Four for the moment. Earthquake can be learned by quite a few. I was thinking about giving it to Jeff. Shadow Ball, Ghost type move, would be great for Derpina. I think or Emma. I think I'll give that one to Emma and give Solar Beam to Sabito, but I will do all of these in a minute. Well, definitely before the next episode. But first, we are going to fly to Indigo Plateau to end this episode off in style. Next time on Let's Play Pokemon Crystal version Nuzlocke, we will be headed up these stairs with new moves and everything to challenge the Elite Four in the final test of our Nuzlocke. See you then!